Good morning, good afternoon, good evening around the world. My name is Doug Brunke. I'm the founder and CEO of Global Chamber. Today we have a continuation of our signature series, Doing Business in ... where we're covering every place in the world. Global Chamber is in 525 metros, which covers the entire world. We've done about 10 of these programs, and we started out by doing 5 cities each. I remember the first couple programs late last year, we did 5 fairly random cities, and then we started doing countries. And some of the more memorable ones were Kenya, and I would think the South Korea one actually was one of our best events because it all came together. Executive Director Mijong Hibbets was amazing, and we had, I think, our best intern ever. Yu Kyung Yang also supplied a lot of information, and the leader for Global Chamber Seoul, Dr. Einstein Yun, who was unbelievably amazing. They all came together with great information. Check it out in our blog if you're doing business there. Today, I have no doubt that people will be talking about this event like I'm talking about the South Korea event, because we have some extraordinary speakers. We're going to kick off with Roberto Cruz, who's part of the Russell Bedford organization. He's a partner located in Queretaro. He's going to give us a general description for about 5 minutes of doing business in Mexico. Then we have 5 or 6 speakers in between where we have regional specifics, and hopefully you'll all be sharing about not just how to do business, but some specific regional opportunities that we should be considering. And then finally, David Farka, who is a longtime member, Global Chamber Phoenix Advisory Board member. He has given some very memorable presentations of his own over the years. He's going to wrap us up. So hang all the way through. You're going to know more about Mexico than you ever thought you could or would. And it's going to be hopefully valuable for your business. Roberto Cruz, we're really looking forward to kicking off, not to set the bar too high, but we have high faith in you, and we're looking forward to learning more. Thank you for kicking us off today.
Thanks, Doc. I'm here. Thanks to everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, worldwide to everyone.
Welcome. We'll get your presentation up, and feel free to go ahead.
Great, thanks a lot. Well, Doc, as you mentioned, Mexico is not just go to the beach and sun and good weather. There are also good things regarding doing business here in Mexico. So let's start with this. Well, as you mentioned, I'm going to talk to you about the general overview of Mexico as a country, and then we're going to have specific regions that some other speakers will talk to us about them. There are different benefits here in Mexico, such as tax benefits, financial and investment, or some benefits on local taxes. It depends on the city or the state that you want to establish a new business here in Mexico. For example, we have some exemptions on the taxes. Some countries or some governments here in some states gives you money in order to make the investment, or they also own you some part of land so you can establish the business here if you're talking about a big factory here, no? Soft landing has been becoming a very good resource regarding doing new business here in Mexico, since with the soft landing services, we can analyze which city or state has the lower cost of energy, of salaries, also the crime atmosphere. And what we do also here is that we have to make the lobbying with the local government in order to establish a good relationship so we can make the startup of a new company here in Mexico, okay? So if you can go to the next slide. Yeah, Mexico has 32 states and shares border with the United States to the north and Guatemala and Belize to the south. It currently has a population of approximately 130 million persons we are here in Mexico. The financial aspect, we can say that Mexico is the second largest economy in Latin America, and it's in the top 15 of the world while large economies. So Mexico, we think that has a very good participation, and it's seen as a good country to make an investment here. The gross domestic product per capita is 8,300 US dollars. And Mexico also has 12 free trade agreements with 46 countries. So we have a lot of agreements here that allow us to have these benefits that I just mentioned, and to make a good investment here in Mexico, okay? It also has 32 agreements for the promotion and protection of the investment with 33 countries, okay? The next slide, please. Here are some facts and numbers that probably will be interesting for you to know. Mexico is the 9th largest recipient of foreign direct investment in the world. So as I mentioned, Mexico is a good country that most of the country from around the world look in order to make an investment, no? United States has the first place that has investment here in Mexico with 39%, then follows by Canada, Spain, Japan, and Germany. And the main invested sectors that we have here in Mexico is the manufacturing, and especially the automotive industry. In my case, I can tell you that most of the clients that I have, we have an automotive industry. The next one is the financial and insurance services, the transportation, the last one is communication. So these are the facts that we have for Mexico. Now, well, later on, we will see with the speakers where regarding the region, it's probably or has another facts difference, but this is the average of all. So the ranking in doing business in Mexico topics, there is 190 countries that participates on this doing business, and it has, you know, Mexico is 60, is ranked in the 60 position of these 119 countries. It has a doing business a score of 72.4, and it also, if you can see the graphic here, the toppest rated, let's say, the topic that we have here is getting a credit. Don't ask my wallet, you know, because I don't have that money enough to ask for a credit, but it's ranked on the 11th of these 119 countries that we have here in doing business. The second one is resolving insolvency. So it comes together with the last one that has that getting the credit, you know. And the position in where we are in the last one, let's say in this graphic, is paying taxes. So here in Mexico, there, well, we here in Mexico say that we are always complain about paying taxes, but in this ranking, we are the one of the countries, we are situated in the 120 place of paying taxes. So here in Mexico, let's say that doing business is not that so difficult. And as I mentioned at the beginning, it's a good country that most of the countries are seeing to invest, such as China. We are now having too many China investors here in Mexico, such as the ASEAN region, as the Korean also has a good investment. But let's take a better view of this regarding the regions. And I don't know if the following speaker can tell us about the region that specifically has to mention, or if you have any doubt or something that you want to point out and to check, we can check it. No problem with that.
That's great. Thank you, Roberto. Really appreciate your input. Thanks for getting us kicked off today. Before we move on to the next speaker, I see Eduardo Gonzalez in the audience. Eduardo, are you there? Could you just briefly introduce yourself? Eduardo was the king of Pro Mexico at the time that it happened, and then it didn't happen anymore with the new president. And so he knows and is very well connected all across Mexico. Eduardo, do you have a moment to just introduce yourself briefly, 30 seconds?
Hey, Doug, I'm driving, so I apologize for not putting the camera on. Thank you for the shout out, and glad to be here. What I do is I help companies locate contract manufacturing options, and we have seen a lot of interest in Mexico, of course, with all the things going on in China, with logistics, tariffs, and lead times mainly. And there's some challenges there. Of course, the supply chain for raw materials is a real hurdle that, we're working and see how we can bridge that gap. But of course, Mexico is a great option for labor and geographic location and manufacturing. But it is not a solution for everybody. It needs to be. You need to figure a few things on your supply chain part. Yeah.
Thanks, Eduardo. Yeah, there were a couple of things why I thought it'd be important to make sure that everybody knows Eduardo. First, he's a great contact and a resource, especially on the manufacturing side. He's on our advisory board for both Global Chamber Phoenix and Tucson. We recently had a presentation. When we do a blog post on this event, we will link to that presentation by the Consul General of Phoenix, where they talked about the main business focus for the government. So it was really interesting. I know one of them was food and agriculture, and they actually specifically talked about chocolate and vanilla, which really was kind of shocking that I didn't even know they were main products out of Mexico. So definitely check that out when the blog post comes up. The other thing that I wanted to mention with Eduardo is because of the manufacturing side, companies to access the U.S. market can either contract manufacture or have others manufacture for them through the shelter companies. And we have 3 shelter companies that are members of Global Chamber. Collectron is the oldest of them. And another very important and significant one, the second largest employer in the state of Sonora is Tetacawi. And then American Industries Group is another, with their U.S. headquarters, I believe, in Dallas. And Nelson, who's our next speaker, Nelson Oliveretta, is both Global Chamber Dallas Executive Director, but also he's a global advisor for us in Chihuahua and Juarez as well. He also knows AIG Group very well. So Nelson, you're next. Please tell us a little bit more about your perspective about opportunities and things we should know about Mexico.
Thank you, Doug, and thank you, Cesar, and nice to see all my friends and colleagues here today. Since we will be talking all about Mexico and then share some interesting figures, I'm gonna be focused on the north part of Mexico, like Doc said. I grew up in the Chihuahua area, in Chihuahua City, and I have a great network of friends and family over there. And I want to highlight some opportunities that you might be interested in the region. Chihuahua City is 200 miles south of the border being Juarez with El Paso, Texas. And since the 1980s, when the manufacturing program started, Juarez and Chihuahua have been leaders in these matters. One of the first companies that established in Mexico to do the settlement of manufacturing companies there is actually American Industries, that Doug mentioned, that we work for them here, finding opportunities for clients in manufacturing that might be interested to move their operations to Mexico. Okay, so let me just give you very quick, since Roberto gave us a full overview of the economy and of why Mexico is a large player in the world. Just 10, with the top 10 reasons that we think why, if your client or your company wants to move operations to Mexico, why Mexico would have a competitive advantage for you and your company. One of the first is the proximity. Obviously, Mexico is a neighbor of the United States, and the last couple of years when we have been in lockdowns, in these issues with the supply chain, the value of being the neighbor has been highlighted for many reasons, and this is one of the most important. Proximity and access. You want your products to be connected to your main highways in the United States, to your main clients, and Mexico is nobody can beat Mexico in that regard. Now, technical training support. I've told you, and you know that for over 40 years, Mexico has been working in manufacturing and high-tech manufacturing. So there is people already in the second, third generation with high skills in technical training support. So that's the second top reason. The third, and also is in comparison with Asia or Europe, is the real-time communication with the North American market. We are in the same time zones, so sometimes you want to have that. The proximity is also sometimes via telephone or instant message, and you want that in your times that you work here in your main market. So Mexico has also that advantage. The quality culture. Mexico has and the manufacturing companies there and the technical staff has this quality standards such as ISO, AS, NADCAP, and many other international quality standards. So that obviously is a shortcut when you want to know if you're manufacturing or if you can do in Mexico what you already do is somewhere with under certain standards of quality. There is again 2-3 generations of experience in that regard. Obviously, one of the main reasons is the skilled, available, and affordable workforce that we have in Mexico. This is still up to 80% in savings on labor cost when compared to the United States in some markets. So obviously, that's an advantage when you want your company to be competitive. And but you also want to have top quality people and top quality skilled workers and top quality technical support. Mexico has this again over generations of experience. Again, the related with the proximity is the supply chain integration. Mexico has a mature supply base in key regions of Mexico. We can talk later in the questions, and the region of Chihuahua, Juarez is more specialized in certain hubs that are aerospace, automotive and auto parts, electric and electronics, life sciences, renewable energies, and recently has been a hub because of it has been developed in the American side for health companies doing manufacturing in health related products.
Okay.
So supply-based integration. Sorry, you.
That sounds great. We're
Okay.
going to need to keep moving. Is it okay to move on to our next speaker?
Sure, I can follow up with if you have any questions or comments in that section. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nelson. Yeah, if we can continue to move, then we'll have time. We're planning a breakout session at the end of this, so you'll be able to jump into a room with some of the speakers and ask some specific questions. And so we should have time if I do my job correctly and all the speakers keep to probably 4 to 5 minutes target in there, 5 minutes max. Our next speaker is Gabriella Castro, and Gabriela is the Global Chamber Executive Director for Queretaro. She also has background in Canada, and she's based largely in the US. So she's a mega region lady and very knowledgeable about really any market segment with particular expertise in mining. But being in Queretaro, clearly aerospace and automotive is a key area as well, along with technology. Gabriela, thank you so much for joining us today. Tell us more about the opportunities in Queretaro.
Sure. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. My name is Gabriela, as Doug said, and I am the Executive Director of Global Chamber Queretaro, and I also am the CEO and founder of Trade in Motion. We support companies to do business in North America, Mexico, the USA, and Canada. That's where I have this, as Doug mentioned, my background is in these 3 countries. I will give some numbers only about Queretaro, and after that I will tell you where I see the opportunities. Queretaro has 2.3 million inhabitants, and 1.5 million of them are economically active. The average age is 29 years old, and Queretaro, as it is a good place to invest and to live. I was surprised to see that there's 67 people arriving daily to Queretaro from all over the country and from other countries too. And the state unemployment rate is 4.3%. Queretaro has a very skilled labor force. There are 13 technical universities. They have an aeronautic university and an automotive university, which is helping a lot these 2 sectors, which are one of the most important in Queretaro. They have 53 R&D centers, public and private. And only to know that Queretaro is in the 4th place of the cities with the best FDI performance in the aerospace sector. As many of you know, Queretaro is part of El Bajío. El Bajío has, it's a strong region with, and some countries, some states are Jalisco, San Luis Potosí, Aguascalientes, Guanajuato, and Querétaro. These states are part of El Bajío, which really makes a very strong part of Mexico that supports the industry, and they have a highly skilled workers and services. There are lower wages than in the border zone, and it's an ideal location. In the center of Mexico, it's 2 hours far from Mexico City. They have various clusters: the automotive, aero cluster, IT, plastics, biomedical, energy, and logistics. And more than the universities that I mentioned, there are 89 universities, and the most important ones are aeronautics and automotive. Regarding real estate, more than 50 industrial parks with competitive land and costs and lease rates are in Querétaro. And talking about ports, 2 Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean ports are within 650 kilometers. Also, the strategic sectors in Querétaro are aerospace, automotive, fintech, healthcare, and information technologies. We had, Doug and myself had a very good conversation with the government of Queretaro regarding what they are doing to attract investment, and they are supporting strongly companies wanting to invest in the state.
Absolutely.
I think that my time is over, Doug.
You're amazing.
I don't want to take more time. According to my timer, it's 5 minutes.
Fantastic. Thank you. Great information. Thanks for giving us some appetizers to chew on. Really appreciate it. I see a couple people in the audience that I think everybody should definitely know. Jorge Canavati is our executive board chair for the Global Chamber San Antonio. He recently pulled me into a meeting between Mexican companies and Finn companies from Finland. So he gets involved in anything related to Mexico. He happens to be in San Antonio, and he's an expert that you should know. And another person is Zach Selch, who's on the call, global sales. And I think you've done some work, Zach, in Mexico as well. And he's really available anywhere in the world to help you with your sales. So either of you, if you have a moment, just pop your head in, and happy to have you say something.
Thank you. Would the other gentleman like to go first, and I can go after him?
Yeah, we've only got about 15 seconds each. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. I just want to say that I agree with everything that's being said right now. We really need to continue the regional thought process. It is very critical. Mexico has tremendous infrastructure in rail and ports. You know, you, Doug, know better than anyone else what we've done between Texas and Mexico regarding that. I think that the private sector needs to continue to lead this. Some of you are aware we had some tremendous negative issues about 3 weeks ago that caused problems on the border. So we need to keep all that at bay so the flow of commerce can continue, which is growing dramatically. Look at I'll post the recent numbers from Laredo, just Laredo alone, numbers from last week. It's going to blow your minds away, which is all directly linked to what everyone is talking about. I put my information on the chat. If I can do anything for anyone, I'm always available. Thank you, Doug.
You're amazing. Thank you. Hey, Zach, are you there? Or are you walking the dog? Maybe walking the dog. So thanks for joining us today. Definitely someone you should know. You wrote the book on global sales. Literally, the book is called Global Sales. Our next speaker, I think, is Indira, right? Indira Jeffrey. Indira is a tag team with Arturo Zamarripa for Global Chamber Guanajuato. And Indira is a longtime friend, longtime member. She works at Thunderbird for Good and does a lot of really great work there. Indira, I think you're going to be our speaker today to talk a little bit more about Guanajuato. Welcome.
Oh, hi, Doug. I just got to the office. Well, thank you so much.
Come back in a few minutes when you're ready, or what?
No, that's fine. Are you in the office too?
No, I'm not in Thunderbird today. No, not yet.
Okay. All right. Well, anyways, yeah, I can just, give an introduction. And what I can say is, well, I'm Indira Jeffrey, and I am the co-director for the Global Chamber in Guanajuato, where I invite everybody to go. Guanajuato is in the middle of the country, and we empower all the industries. Guanajuato is a place where you can come and do tourism, and also you can do a lot of business. The reason I think, to belong to the Global Chamber for everybody is a benefit is because, like myself and my brother Arturo Zamarripa, who's the executive director, we are very involved in the community, and as well as we have very good relationship with the government. And, in Mexico, to do business, you have to have a very good standing with the government because fortunately or unfortunately, a lot of the transactions, the business transactions, have to go through the government and the processing. And I believe that if you are, part or become a member, you can have access to first a network of business experts, plus we know the culture, we know the language, and as well as we have the network. So what I can say about Guanajuato is that the main industry is the textile, the footwear industry, as well as the automotive industry, aerospace, medical equipments, and also agriculture. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to Arturo Samaripa, who is the executive director. You can go to the chamber, Global Chamber website, and you can find our information there. But it's what I wanted to mention about Guanajuato. Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you at our new homes.
Yeah, well, let me know when you're here.
Yeah, I'm going to be there certainly on Monday. I'm in and out, but definitely on Monday. So if you're in there, then let's
Okay.
connect.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you.
We cleaned up the room and we posted some pictures of them online. The new home.
Oh.
First floor, southeast corner of the new Thunderbird 5-story building. Only 4 stories below the pub, so we're very, very close proximity to a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yesterday, I was in your office. I'll tell you. Yesterday, I was there. I'll send you the picture. I was there in the Global Chamber. Very nice place.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? Yeah, it kind of blows my mind. So thank you. That's awesome. Arturo, are you there? Can you introduce yourself? I saw you coming in and out, so maybe you have a Wi-Fi issue. And if not, that's fine. So Arturo Zamripa is the person that Indira referenced as our executive director there. So let's keep moving.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hello, Doug. Nice to see you.
Hey, good to see you as well. So thank you for joining today, and thanks for all your work.
Thank you for inviting me, and I just wanted to thank also Indira, who is also a great support for this this community, for this chapter in Guanajuato, and everyone here is. I'm so glad to see everyone here, and I just wanted to add that another opportunity that Guanajuato has to offer very quickly is the real estate. The real estate opportunities are coming up here in Guanajuato. We are seeing this boom on real estate. Perhaps the city of Leon is becoming increasingly more suitable for investment. So if anyone is interested in investing directly, please reach to us, and we're gonna try to give you the good advice for investment in real estate also as well.
Thank you very much, Arturo. Let's move a little north and to the state of Sonora with Christian Aguirre, who's the executive director for Global Chamber Hermosillo and covers the state of Sonora. Christian is part of a chapter that it's one of our oldest chapters. I remember the idea of the politics and the issues and being connected to the government through the introduction. I actually was there for the ramp up and with the mayor of Hermosillo, and was very, very excited and enthusiastic about the energy and the positivity and the growth within the region. Certainly, Christian, you've been a key part of that as well. Could you let us know a little bit more about some opportunities we should know about in Sonora?
Thank you, Doc. Good morning, everyone. Christian Aguirre from Hermosillo, Mexico. Yes, I'm gonna just quickly give you a glance of Northwest Mexico, the region that is where our chapter takes place. So some important data that you should know about Northwest Mexico. Most of the states are next to the United States, at least half of them. And we have a population approximately more than 50 million people in the Northwest region. And Hermosillo, where I live and we do all the activity for Global Chamber, it's the 5th largest city in the region. This city of Hermosillo does a lot of industrial work, manufacturing. We are fortunate to have two leaders nearby in the manufacturing sector, such as Colectron and Maquilas Tetacawi, who also have activity in central states of Mexico by supporting many, many companies from around the world to have operations in Mexico. So a little bit Northwest Mexico. It is very, very similar in the case of the state of Sonora to the state of Arizona. They share the Sonoran deserts, natural reserves, and especially industry and business centers is what takes place in Northwest Mexico. We are proud that since 1985, we have the fourth plant in Hermosillo, Mexico, and it is considered always on the top 3 in quality and production. Also, a lot of cultural and culinary traditions, beautiful beaches. So come visit Sonora to know the beaches, and also Baja, great beaches, hospitality, golf, and others. But the ideal is obviously industry, tourism, and it also consider Northwest Mexico a great, great opportunity for retiring in the future. We have opportunities, economic stability, productivity, quality of the services. Many people in Northwest Mexico speak English, so that's a big advantage. The trade agreements that Mexico has make it very attractive. The location, as Nelson was mentioning, being able to be in the same time zones, in this case, as Arizona and as California, it's a great advantage. And warm weather, very, very warm weather. And advantages, of course, dollar is strong. So we are also in Northwest Mexico very, very familiar with the US culture and the culture from other places in the world. There's easy access, English speaking, as I mentioned, and many, many other advantages. And Mexico constantly is mentioned as one top destination to retire, obviously in tourism too, but a top destination to retire. And in the latest polls or results, we got Mexico at 3rd place, just behind Panama and Costa Rica. So any information related to Northwest Mexico, anything I can be of support, this is my information. Christian Aguirre, my phone, my email. Please make sure to contact me. And on the chat, I have shared my e-card and my LinkedIn profile. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. One of the great things about Christian is he's involved in a lot of different businesses that are both importing and exporting across the border. One of them is True Salt, which is based in Sonora, exporting to the US, continued success there. And then he has a variety of other products. He's got that experience himself about bringing products in and out and how to market across borders. So definitely a great resource for the entire global tribe. Thanks for all that you do, Christian.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
We have about 10 more minutes of presentations by a couple speakers. Before we do that, Cesar, I have a question for you. We should have time then for a breakout session. What should people be thinking about? Or is that going to be a random breakouts, or are people going to be able to decide which room they're going to go into?
I was planning to have a random one, just with each of our chapter leaders as the leaders of the room, like Christian, Arturo, and Gabriela. If any of the attendees is interested to meet any of them, just feel free to reach out by the chat, and I will accumulate you to that room.
Okay, so if you want to be situated with one of the speakers specifically, send a message to Cesar in the chat area, and we'll make sure that happens. So thank you, Cesar. Otherwise, it'll be random. So you'll be able to meet not just the speaker, but some other folks in the call. A couple other people you should know that are here. I see Yael Cohen Elias is here. She's a logistics expert. I presume she's already connected to Jorge Canavati. Definitely something that you guys should be sharing with. She's based out of Israel, so thank you for zooming in late in the evening, Yael. Happy to have you. If you'd like to unmute, just introduce yourself. And then the other is Donahy Montes, who I think the Global Tribe knows Donahue very well. She's just an extraordinary leader in a variety of ways, particularly working with tech companies in Mexico. So Donahue, thank you for joining us today as well. Let's go now to, I understand from Samuel and Enrique, it's the hot vacation spot and also the #1 port in Mexico, Manzanillo. And so I think as the Global Tribe, you'll be hearing more about that because Samuel and Enrique are new Global Chamber executive directors. It's not totally official, 100%, but we love them already. They're very knowledgeable and they're a great tag team. They're also an expert on the state of Colima and Manzanillo Port and the business there. Thank you, Samuel and Enrique, for joining us today. What would you like to share?
Thank you, Doug. Well, I'm Enrique Cobian, and I'm a founding partner and co-owner of a group of logistic and marketing companies. And I'm from Jalisco, but I live in Manzanillo for the last 10 plus years. So nice to meet you all. And
thank you, Enrique. Thank you, Doug, and thrilled to be part of this Global Tribe. Soon to be co-executive director, along with my husband, of the Global Chamber Manzanillo, Colima. I'm originally from Puerto Rico, probably one of the few people on the call that is involved with Mexico, but is not Mexican or of Mexican descent, although I'm working on my residency. We'll see if they allow me to be a citizen. I'm originally from Puerto Rico, as I mentioned, where I was born, raised, and educated. And after a long way around through Canada and the US, I spent the last 25 years between both countries, a little bit longer in Dallas, Texas, where we have our second home and where we are right now. But last year I had an opportunity to follow up on falling in love with Mexico originally. Last year I fell in love with a Mexican, and we've been now working together and doing business in Manzanillo. For those of you who are not familiar with Manzanillo, Manzanillo is located on the Pacific coast, and it is indeed the busiest airport, maritime airport in Mexico. It was founded in 1527. I love history, you'll learn that very soon. And it actually became a port in 1825. If you follow history at all the Spanish conquest of the Pacific started out of Manzanillo. It's also known as the sailfish capital of the world since the middle of last century. There have been tons of different tournaments that have taken place there. And if you're a film buff, you might remember the movie 10 with Dudley Moore and Bo Derek. It was also filmed in Manzanillo. What do you need to know about Manzanillo? What are the three main opportunities? Number one, President Lopez Obrador was there along with Governor Indira Vizcaíno and announced in November of 2021 an investment of 2 billion pesos, 2 billion with a B, pesos, investments for the port of Manzanillo and the Manzanillo area. And what that means is a million different things. It remains to be seen exactly what kind of impact it's going to have. But one thing we can tell you for a fact is that number one, this was an unprecedented visit by any president going to the state of Colima, particularly going to the port of Manzanillo. And number two, an unprecedented investment in maritime ports in the country. No other port is getting, at least for now, this kind of investment from the federal government. Number two, tourism is underdeveloped, for which reason both administrations, the federal administration, the state administration, and even the local city administration have made commitments to continue to increase investments in that area. In fact, the Office of Economic Development in the state of Colima moved the tourism office out of Colima, which is the state capital, to Manzanillo, where it makes sense, where you have the beaches, where you have the beautiful resorts, and where you have a little bit of the infrastructure that is needed to continue to build on the development of the tourism industry. It is good. It is not Cancun. It is not Tulum. It is not Puerto Vallarta or Cabo, if you take a look at some of those destinations on the Pacific coast side of the country. So definitely great opportunity there. So what the pandemic, and this is the third opportunity, has created is that it has turned Manzanillo into the port of entry of choice, given the many obstacles that we have seen in many other places, including the diversion of some of the shipments that used to come into the Los Angeles and Long Beach ports. They're coming in through Manzanillo and then, of course, taken across the border. Chris and others that we've had the conversation with, they've seen an increase of that, hopefully an increase in business when it comes to what's going on there. So that has created then an importance that the Port of Manzanillo had never really seen before. And that is absolutely amazing. And what that has turned into is the beginning, because this is really at the beginning stages of the opportunities that will come for companies that can support these companies that are directly working for the port. That means talent and staffing companies, marketing and advertising companies, technology, hospitality, restaurants, ground transportation, infrastructure, and even aviation. Currently, the airport of Manzanillo receives 2 daily flights from Aeromexico. Beyond that, it's only seasonal service from Dallas, from Phoenix, Houston, LA, and a number of other cities in the US and Canada, Vancouver, and others. So tons of opportunities there that we definitely would like to make sure you think about, and that we will be more than happy to give you a little more guidance and support and orientation in terms of where those opportunities are in Manzanillo. We'll leave our contact information in the chat.
Samuel, thank you. Enrique, thank you. Welcome. We look forward to working with you. Great summary and lots of opportunity. Who knew? So thank you very much. Let's now go to our final speaker. David Farka is a longtime member of Global Chamber, executive with the International Business Group. He is on our advisory board for Global Chamber Phoenix. He's very well connected in Arizona and in Mexico, and he's just really knowledgeable, given a couple of the best conversations about Mexico and the history of Global Chamber. And so undoubtedly, he'll be impressive today as well. David, thank you for joining us today. Well, you're our last speaker, so anything that we left out, anything you'd like to add to the conversation, please do. And then we're going to have a breakout session, and then we'll be wrapping up the session. Thanks for joining, David.
Thank you, Doug, and hello to everybody. So today I was specifically tasked to talk about Mexico City rather than the country. So I'll try to stay a little bit focused on that. As you guys that know me know well, I'm not politically correct. So there's a couple of comments that I might make that are a little bit different than anybody else. So as you know, there's a saying that all roads lead to Rome. In Mexico, I will say that all roads lead to Mexico City. It's by far the largest city in the country. We are seen, those of us who are born and raised in Mexico City, sometimes we're seen a little bit like New Yorkers might be seen in the US, or Parisians are seen in France. But it is the best city in the country, I will say. So it contains 20% of the population. The majority, it's centralized. Even the Navy has its office in Mexico City. There are no ports in Mexico City. But all business, all types of business, some way or another, touch Mexico City. And for those around the country, if you're doing large projects, one way or another, they'll end up going through certain offices in Mexico City as well. It's a vibrant city. It's very cosmopolitan, written by the Wall Street Journal as one of the top culinary cities in the world. Fantastic to visit. The amount of museums, a great tourist destination as well. Specifically, opportunities that I see in Mexico City, I'm a little bit more, I'm going to focus more on today rather than historical Mexico. I think that most of our speakers have talked about the advantages of each one of the regions. I want to focus more on what's happening today. Again, I'm not a politician, I'm not politically correct, but it is a challenge having the current administration in Mexico. It's an administration that's seen internationally as not business friendly. There have been certain things going on in Congress. When you talk about energy laws that are very controversial, specifically when you're talking about the different free trade agreements that Mexico has signed, and specifically with the US and Canada, USMCA or TEMEC in Mexico, those laws have become extremely controversial. So this has set a certain scenario for foreign direct investment coming into Mexico to really slow down. And I see an opportunity. There's always good that comes with a bad. And I see opportunities of investment from Mexico going outward. I see large groups, large family offices in Mexico that are looking to diversify their assets, diversify their capital. And instead of reinvesting that capital in Mexico, they are looking for opportunities around the world. So if there's people out there are looking for Mexican investment in outside Mexico, there are currently significant opportunities in that end. Mexico still has a lot of potential for innovation. There are companies looking at cloud seeding to generate rain. There's a lot of engineers being graduated from Mexico. Mexico, with a third of the population of the US, graduates more engineers than the US, which is an amazing statistic. Mexico right now, it's also a tremendous source of labor, skilled labor. We're not talking about factory labor. We're talking about highly educated, well-paying jobs. I have two clients, one that just opened an office in Mexico City for the only purpose of recruiting engineers and recruiting mechanical and industrial engineers specifically for the industry of aircraft maintenance in the US. So they have an office in Mexico City, and the only thing they're doing is recruiting these engineers, going through the process of getting their visas and getting them to work in the US and Canada. So there's great opportunities like that. There are other companies, Doug, you know them well, that they set up shop in Mexico to generate the work they need for international clients. Specific one, talking about Tiempo Development. They have two offices in Mexico. I think one is in Hermosillo, the other one is in the Guadalajara area. And they hire engineers. They have no clients for their software development in Mexico specifically. They do all the work for international clients, but they find the labor and the talent there to be able to do it. There's also a tremendous innovation in the fintech world. There's a lot of percentage of the population in Mexico. It's non-bankable. So there is a lot of innovation with fintech. There's also opportunities in the security area. Sadly, but some areas in Mexico tend to be not as safe as we would like them to be. Doug, you were talking about your daughter having a great time in Tulum, and it is a fantastic area, great tourism area. They're having some challenges with security, and there is some opportunity for whether it's advising, whether it's providing certain services or items that contribute to security. There's a lot of opportunity in the country for that. There's also a lot of opportunity for infrastructure. The current government is, as some of our speakers mentioned, investing significantly in infrastructure, whether it's in ports, whether it's in highways, whether it's the controversial Mayan train that's being built. But there's a lot of money put into infrastructure. Also very controversial, the new Mexico City airport. There was a lot of money put into that. Most people think it's not the right project, but the reality of things is that there is investment in infrastructure. I work with a company, if anybody is interested or involved in it, that has a multi-billion-dollar fund that's willing to fund infrastructure projects. So if within your cities or your states, you have governments that have a credit rating, it doesn't have to be a good credit rating, but these companies are willing to fund infrastructure projects as well. And as one of our speakers mentioned as well, it's a great country to retire in. There is 1 million expats from the US currently living in Mexico. It's the largest immigrant population in Mexico. It's US citizens living abroad. I think that we're all getting tired of our each one of our own country's politics, and it's happening all around the world. So there's a lot of people relocating to different countries. So there's another great opportunity for real estate, whether it's vacation real estate. The 1 million US citizens that I talk about living in Mexico are living full-time in Mexico. There's another set of US citizens that live part-time in Mexico, whether it's 6 months or less, but own property in Mexico as well. So the opportunities for real estate investment for that particular group, it's very interesting as well. And that's all I have on my end.
Thank you very much, David. And you've taken us to the top of the hour. Really great presentations, great information. Please make notes of all of the folks that are in the rooms.
I'm voting for David for president.
I saw your vote. Yeah.
That's it.
Congratulations. You're presidentially incorrect, however, very capable. So thank you. We agree. Let's, Cesar, why don't you let us know more about the breakout rooms? Hopefully most or all of you can hang on just for a few more minutes. Cesar, what do we have in store on the breakout?
Yeah, so let's hang out if you want, if you can, and for 5 to 10 minutes, and we're gonna be connecting with each of the chapter leaders who are gonna be leading one of the rooms. I see some people moving. I have them already set, so I might be moving people now in the making. But let's just open the rooms and start for 5 to 10 minutes. Let's say 7 minutes, then we can come back for 5.
Okay. No, that sounds good. Welcome.
Okay, so that's good. I'm gonna be creating them, and see you soon. Hola Eduardo, Roberto, ¿están ahí?
Eduardo, sí, aquí estoy. Hola.
¿Cómo estás, Eduardo? A ver si te pongo uno de los cuartos. A ver, creo que tienes que aceptarlo. No sé, ya te asigné, pero no.
Ah, espérame, es que voy manejando. Deja ver. Pararme, espérame. A ver qué tengo que hacer. Conecté por el teléfono. No me sale nada aquí.
Ya te voy a asignar otra vez, a ver.
Marqué por el número de teléfono de Zoom, no por el Wi-Fi de Zoom.
Ya, ha de ser por eso. Sí. Nada, cualquier cosa, entonces pendiente ahí cuando regresemos y ya el final comment.
Está bien, sin problema.
Sí. Gracias, Eduardo.
in progress. All right, something happened.
Recording in progress.
Okay, we're back.
Hi, everybody. Cesar, are you there?
Here, yes.
Okay, we got everybody. What have we got? Most people oh, look at that. There's almost everybody stayed. You're amazing. Thank you very much. What did anybody learn in your breakout session? Any comments, or does anybody comment for the bigger group?
I want to say, hi, how you doing? I want to say that I think Israel and Mexico can have a lot of opportunities with the agriculture and with the high-tech technology, and I think we can cooperate. And you know, we have so many problems with China, and I think it's about time. It's about time to see if we can do something about it and make things easier for our importers from Israel and the exporters. And I think around the globe, they're all facing these problems that are just going high and high. And I think it's a good opportunity to just, you know, do something together, cooperate.
I agree. You know, it's interesting to read like the cutting off of natural gas, right? Of Bulgaria and Poland. That China honestly is this way too, but Russia clearly is using trade as a weapon, which is, you know, okay. it's a you know, we've known it's existed, but we've never seen it used so harshly. I don't think, certainly, I don't remember this in my lifetime, this happening. So it's just extraordinary, which goes to your point. I think it's opportunity, right? There are opportunities for, I was reading about natural gas suppliers in the US, you know, that they can supply, you know, and they just have to start ramping up. And so that not just natural gas, but so many other products, fertilizer and agricultural products and a variety of other things we have opportunity for. What are some of the things that you're mainly involved with? What would you like to be part of over the next weeks and months? Which kind of product services?
First of all, we have solutions for the water, for the agriculture with the smart city technology that we have here in Israel to help them measure the water they need for the agriculture, to use it wisely and save water if they need. We have also solutions for the security if big events of crime are happening in Mexico and you need to report it very fast and you need to manage it very fast. So we have these solutions in the Israeli technology has a solution for that too. And I'm opening to any other opportunities. We have great products in Israel. We have very high quality cosmetics. We have great food. And we also can, you know, buy from Mexico, sell to Mexico. I think it's, and I want to know what we can produce in Mexico instead of in China and see if it can work, if we can just move things.
So that's a huge activity right now, right? Resourcing, and Mexico is one of the premier benefactors of that shift. And so all three companies we mentioned before, Collectron, Tetakawi, and American Industries Group, which Nelson is more directly involved with, can help with that. So if you guys haven't chatted, definitely please have a chat. Yes. Nelson, you might be able to get some leads for AIG through Yael for sure.
Definitely. I'm sending Yael a message right now.
Okay, very good. Yael, it's very late there, isn't it?
It's 8:15 p.m.
Okay, got it. Anybody else have anything that they'd like to share? I know we've gone over. Sorry about that. Any of the speakers like to make any final comments?
But only to say that I think that Mexico is a good option for companies to do business and to manufacture. It doesn't matter the region. Each of us work in different regions. So anyone can approach any of us and we would be able to support the industry around the world.
Okay. What date will you start again in Queretaro, Gabby?
I will travel, I think, the 6th or 7th May,
Okay.
and I will stay for 1 month.
I see. Okay.
So I have a schedule of meetings.
Okay. Very good. Sorry.
Well, I get you here, Gabriela. I will
Please,
see you
Roberto.
here.
Please,
Yeah, I'll
thank
send you my email already and my phone number.
That sounds great.
I'll take it. Thank you.
David Farka, are you going back and forth? Are you in Phoenix? Whereabouts are you these days?
I am in Phoenix today. I do spend about a week a month in Mexico City, and have been traveling to other regions. Just came back from Europe last week and going to Southeast Asia next week.
Fantastic. What are some of the main projects that you're working on? What products? Are they infrastructure?
Some of them, but the majority of what we're doing is security and defense. And with the world the way it is, that has been going crazy. So it's got us busy.
Okay. Is it primarily for Mexico?
No.
Okay. Because there are some opportunities. In fact, even William on this call, I don't know if you'd be interested potentially to be working in Myanmar, but he has some specific requirements on security that some of our other members aren't willing to jump into Myanmar because of kind of the junta and all of that. But if that could possibly be of interest, it would be great to connect you with William.
Sure, happy to talk to him. There is certain restrictions from the Department of State in that countries, but we can take a look at it and see if we are allowed to or not.
Okay, very good. I understand his microphone is having some problem, but he's been very involved over the last several months. He recently gave a presentation about all the different new businesses he's been involved with, but security is one of them. So great. We'll get you connected. Thank you. Really appreciate your presentation. It seemed very politically correct to me, but I don't know. Donahy, are you available to chat just to say hi? Are you?
Yes, I can.
Oh, great.
Hi. and also, please, if you're thinking about exploring Mexico, its people, its business opportunities, you will be amazed. We are not only beaches and avocados, it's and mariachis and tequila. So open your mind, because there's a huge country with great opportunities for you to do business as well. So thank you very much. And if you're in high tech or digital technologies and want to do something either with Mexico, LATAM, or the US, I'm here to help you out. Thank you.
I met Donahy years and years and years ago, and she's working for the Mexican government, helping Mexican companies land in the US. And she was just so good at it, working at so many different companies. But now she can work in any industry, but technology is her thing. She's really outstanding at it. So definitely connect up with what she's doing. Anybody else have any final comments?
Doug, if I may.
Yeah.
Eduardo here. I just want to mention that all the options that you refer to are for companies that want to do their own manufacturing. So shelter option is a great way to start. But if somebody's looking for contract manufacturing, I just want to say that also is an opportunity in Mexico. Not all, of course, it's a great place to go and invest and do your own manufacturing, but also we can help companies locate contract manufacturing options if somebody's not ready to do their own manufacturing specific. Just want to get that out there. Thanks.
Really good point. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. That all said, I see Fernando just joined, I think. Fernando, did you just join?
Yeah,
Fernando,
sorry, Doug.
Oh my
goodness.
Okay,
I just
how are
joined.
you?
I was good. I got stuck in another matters here and just joined at the end of this discussion. But based on what I heard in the little room that I was in, introducing myself to Sam and David, Just want to make sure that here, I just joined because of Doug. Doug was very gentle and he introduced me to this global chamber, which I'm enjoying much. And in terms of Mexico, where we have one of our offices here, and that's where we started, anything regarding investing and coming to Mexico is about, what we do is basically ethics and compliance. And one of the things that we provide as a very, very ad hoc service is about reputational due diligence. If you're going to plan to invest in Mexico, more than happy to look into which could be your target, what risk could represent, especially in the anti-bribery, anti-corruption, money laundering, data privacy, all those type of issues that may come up. As a consultant firm, we do everything regarding investigations and forensic investigations, internal investigations, and compliance and information security work. So happy to connect with you all if you are planning to come to Mexico, and that's what we do. We navigate through emerging markets where we have all our operations focused on. Thank you, Doug.
Yeah, you're located in multiple locations in Mexico, and then have you decided where you're going to have your office in the U.S. or you have an El Paso?
We have it in San Antonio for now, and we have a partner in Philadelphia, and we plan to open a new one in Houston in the midterm.
In Houston, okay, very good. Have we already connected you to Jorge Canavati in San Antonio? I hope so.
Not yet. Happy to connect with him soon.
Yeah, probably. I see he's not in the. He must have had to jump out. So probably someone, and probably David Farka too at some point for sure. You do some really great work. Really impressed with what I've seen so far. So thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate it. I think that might be it. What do you think, Cesar?
I think that's the case. We went a little bit over. I think it was worth it. It was worth it to have a conversation with all of you. And thanks for everyone for joining us today. And if you're interested to connect with anyone who spoke today, feel free to reach out, and we're happy to assist.
Yeah, the last word I would say is that I know we have I think a Global Chamber Atlanta event today, later, and then tomorrow we have 4 events, and one of them is one I was mentioning to my breakout room. It's with Vistage organization. I've been a past member. They are a member of Global Chamber. It's a CEO peer-to-peer group. The presenters, the people that talk at that group to the CEOs are really outstanding, and we have a good one talking about leadership tomorrow. And so I definitely, his name is Bob Kulhan, I think his name is. I spoke with him, very impressed, great speaker, great content. If you're working on your leadership as a priority, I highly recommend jumping into that. I'm sure you'll get some things out of it. Cesar, any last comments that you'd like to make?
No, I just want to thank everyone again, and looking forward to next events. We have also tomorrow we have the Global Dining Middle East Food. So for anyone, that's going to be 7 Eastern and 4 Pacific. So whoever wants to join us, and that's a very relaxed type of networking, where we're going to be eating something from the Middle East and learning more about the region and business opportunities.
Very good. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care. Have a great rest of your day.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you, Doug. Take care.